So a lot of you guys are looking to come into the military and you're trying to get advice on what to do or how to be a soldier or just, I'll say, just how to be a military member. Well, first thing you need to do is to stop looking for those special forces guys for advice. I'm going to tell you that first and foremost, and I'll tell you why.
Work, 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 earn what pay. Hard work, do it every day. Get up out of 2:45. Ready to go.
So like I said, stop looking for those special forces guys, the Green Berets, the Navy SEALs to give you advice on how to be a military member, or I'm going to lean on Army, a soldier. I'm going to catch a lot of flack for this, but stick with me. So my reason for saying this is because those guys are the elite. You know, it's nice to follow their stories and listen to their stories and how they came up and the different missions, you know, all that stuff is great to listen to because a lot of us will never experience stuff on that level. We'll never have the opportunity, nor do some of us want to have the opportunity. But it's that cool phase of the warrior mentality, that the thing that we can't do, and we're living vicariously through someone else. So those stories are cool, but that's not the regular military. And that's why I'm saying stop listening to these guys for advice. Now, if you are trying to become a Navy SEAL, a Green Beret, a PJ, any of the above, and any of the others, yes, seek that out directly on how do you get in shape to become one. Because that's all you're really going to get out of it anyway, is the path to get in shape and to get that mental resolve on how to become a Green Beret. I mean, you'll have to go through selection. You know, if you're going to go MARSOC, I mean, they have their selection. I forget what it's called. But like, people, they'll tell you the stories on how they made it through and the key things you should focus on if you want to have the chance to be able to go through the selection process. You know, how to eat, how to PT to get in shape, how to ruck march, you know, just to build yourself up, because the average soldier or average person doesn't do that on a daily basis to build themselves up. You just can't jump into it. Buds is a different story because, yes, you need to go there in physical shape, but I believe they build you up all the way up until Hell Week. And Hell Week's pretty much your test on everything you've learned and all the endurance you've acquired. Like, Hell Week's your test, but you still need to go there with a certain mindset. And then when you watch these guys, let's say the Buds guys, they'll tell you how they made it through Hell Week. So it's not even the whole thing of going through Buds in general, which people do, which that DOR. They're trying to really give you a mindset on how to make it through. But with the regular military, these guys aren't the greatest guys to tell you about the regular military, because their life does not revolve around the regular military life. It's totally different being in that world. Their grooming standards are different. Their PT standards are different, which are higher. How they carry themselves are different. Conventional military is totally different. They're small teams. They have a certain relationship. You know, infantry guys tend to get this, but with these guys, it's totally different. They're more privy to things that are going on than the average soldier or military member. So they see things differently. They've been out there. They can give you an idea of their view on the world, you know, because they learn of what's going on in XYZ country and why they're running that way, because they've been there. They've had to read the briefings. They're part of the mission set. But as far as for everyday military life, okay, what's it like to be a military member? Well, my unit, we get up 5 days a week and we do PT. We do PT in the snow at Fort Drum. And we don't put bottoms on until it's at least 20 degrees outside, because our command, that's regular military life. And even talking about 10th Mountain, that's even a little bit elite versus, like I said, the regular soldier. You know, get up, organize PT every other morning, then you shower up, then you go to work, whatever your respective job is, you show up. If you don't have a formation beforehand, you carry out your work throughout the day or for the day, which could be admin, which could be the motor pool, whatever trucks that need to be fixed, you're working on it up until lunchtime, about 11:30 to 1 o'clock. You have your admin time to go get lunch, to go do PT. and so forth, to where you have time to do stuff that you need to do. Then you come back from lunch, and then you go back to work. And then as you go back to work, you're working on whatever you're working on. And then at the end of the day, which could be 1700, depending on what your job is and where you're at, 1700, you might have a final formation, you might not. And then you go home, and that's Groundhog Day. Now, we're not talking about extenuating circumstances of like preparing for a mission. We're just talking about day-to-day activities. So you want to know more about that kind of stuff on what you're going to be doing in your MOS. Okay, if you're a signal guy and you're in a signal battalion and you're with the J&N crew, what's your day in, day out like? You need to seek out those guys. Okay, if you're military intelligence, and you want to see what the day in the life is of a military intelligence guy or gal is, you need to seek out that guy. The same thing with all the other MOSs. If you're looking at that, or a specific unit you want to go to, you want to know what that's like, you need to seek out somebody in that unit. So that's where I'm saying, stop looking at these special forces guys as being the know-all, because their life is totally different. Yeah, can they give you some guidance on being a good soldier? Yes. But their mindset's totally different. They're totally different than conventional army. So I'm not going to beat this into the ground, but I just want you guys to think clearly on, when you look at these guys, you try to live that lifestyle and you're going to be in the conventional military, I'm sorry, you're going to get your feelings hurt. You're not going to live that life. Life's a lot easier for them. Their op tempo's faster. They train a whole lot more. You don't see the behind the scenes on what they're doing. I mean, they get up, they do their own PT, it's on their own. They set up, then they might go to the range and shoot 1,000 rounds. Then they might go do this mock mission because they're preparing for something. You don't see what they do behind the scenes. So their lives are totally different. So that's all I got to say about that. If anyone has any issues with it, let me know in the comments how you feel about that. Because a lot of people seek these guys out for advice for average military personnel, and they're not average. So like, subscribe, drop your thoughts in the comments on how you feel about that, because I know some of you guys had to have noticed that. I mean, I get sucked into it, but like I said, I'll watch and listen to what they do because of the stories, what they've done, and on the flip side too, like, you got to think about it. Like, these guys have seen a lot of combat. Their mindset's totally different. Like, it's different than your average, I'm gonna say pogue, your average soldier, sailor who doesn't go out on missions, who's never been deployed. Your mindset's totally different. You're a garrison person. But as I digress, I'm gonna get off the air on this one, but if you have any comments, drop it in the bottom. If you don't even like this video, do the same. Hit the dislike on it. If you like it, hopefully you hit the like. You get more videos like this, but do something. But till the next time, stay dangerous. Peace.
Ever